Yeah, I'll
space.
go ahead and set up a safe space, and
Mhm.
then I'll also just get myself some notes ready. And hello to everyone. Please put your requests in capitals in the live stream, and we'll be picking them randomly. When your name is called, please say, "Hello, I'm here." And it'd be really helpful to remind us what the request was.
Yes,
And it's amazing to have you here, Viviane. Thank you.
thank
I feel
you.
much more sane, like having a witness to the chaos. Um, and yeah, really excited for today's session. Yesterday
Mhm.
got to do it in person in
Yeah,
Haddington
so
in Scotland.
exciting.
That
So
was a
happy
lot of
for you,
fun.
Natasha. Yeah, wonderful.
Thank you. It was really
Mhm.
lovely just being in the same room as people
Yeah.
um and just connecting. Yeah, it was just fantastic.
Mhm.
So yeah, I'll go ahead and set up a safe space, and then we can start.
Mhm.
And to everyone in the live stream, yes, please do um, join us in setting up in the safe space. It's really really helpful to both Viviane and I in our work, and hopefully it helps you too.
Mhm.
So if you'd like to begin by taking in 3 deep breaths in through the nose, nice and deep, and breathe out what no longer serves your highest good, nice and loud. Breathe in through the nose, nice and deep, and breathe out any fear, shame, anxiety, or pain at this time, nice and loud. And breathe in through the nose, nice and deep. And breathe out any remaining low vibration energy or emotion, nice and loud. And continue to breathe deeply and calmly. And from the divine spark that exists at the center of all of our hearts, we extend our light cords up through the top of our heads, up through the sky and through the stars, up through the highest dimensions, up through the highest frequencies of this universe, all the way up, as high as we can imagine, and there, connecting our light cords into the highest dimension of source above. Remain connected into source above and extend your light cord down to the stars and to the sky, back down to the top of your head and into your heart once more. And now, this time from the center of your heart, extend your light cord down through the root of your spine, going deep into the ground, deeper and deeper through the layers of this planet, until you reach the very core of Mother Earth. And there, connecting your light cord into Mother Gaia's crystalline heart. And we send Mother Earth, Mother Gaia, so much love at this time. And she sends her love back. Remain connected into Gaia's heart and extend your light cord up through the layers of the planet, up through the root of your spine and into your heart once more. And now, together with the lights of Source above and Mother Gaia below, we expand out our golden bubbles of protective light from the center of our hearts to surround each of us, about 2 meters out from the center of our hearts, above, below, to each side, in front and behind. And we set the intention for our golden bubbles that only energies and entities with our permission, with our highest good and our love and our compassion can see us, access us, or exist within this space or within us. All other energies and entities must leave us immediately. And into our golden bubbles, we invite in our guides, our higher selves, Archangel Michael, Archangel Raphael, Archangel Metatron, Source and Gaia, for our guidance, clearing, healing, protection, self love, and access to the Akashic records should we request. And through space and time, I create a golden bubble around this entire session and just this live stream that we're currently in and the replay version of it. And I set the intention for the boundaries of the session that only energies and entities with my permission, our highest good, love, and compassion can see us, access us, or exist within this space or within us. All other energies and entities must leave the space immediately. And for Viviane and I invite in our guides, our higher selves, Archangel Michael, Archangel Raphael, Archangel Metatron, Source, and Gaia. And when called, I will invite forwards also the higher self and the guides of those that request healings, clearings, readings from us. And we set the intention today to assist people with any messages and healings, clearing any negative energy that will assist them, accessing past life or future lives, assisting them with their homes, the energetic grid around them, the ley lines in their area, healing their pets, or whatever they choose, providing they have consent and it is for the highest good of all. And our safe space is created.
Thank you.
Yes, I feel calm now.
Okay, let's see what we have here. Change my screen. So nice to see you all. And you do need to leave earlier today, right?
I don't, hang on, let me check.
I believe you said half hour earlier. Maybe this was also what caused the Zoom because of the change. I don't know. Remember, you sent me and you were invited. That was the
Could be, yeah, that would make sense.
uh,
Yeah, I do need to leave a bit earlier. It's something like, depending on how intense today is,
mhm.
probably about 5:30 my time, so about another hour and 24 minutes.
Yeah.
And we'll just check in there and see how I'm doing. If I'm completely
Mhm.
discombobulated, I will need to go and lay in my garden and like ground until my next client session.
Okay, no problem. All right. So um, I have the request here from Sylvia. And okay, the last few weeks, my body has been achy, and she's asking if it is because of the process she's going through. So Sylvia, she's here.
And did she give any more detail on the process she's going through?
No, Sylvia, would you please let us know, give us more details about what you're referring to?
Yeah, thank you. And I'll just ask Sylvia and her guides,
Mm-hmm.
higher self, to step forwards.
Okay. I'm waiting for a response here from Sylvia. See what she says. Yes, she's here. Would you please give us more details about what you were referring to, Sylvia, so we know how to better help you?
I'll give her a second. Yeah, I did
Okay.
get a pretty clear sight of where it is, but I'll just give her a second to respond.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Oh, you use translate.
Uh,
Okay.
that's okay. While I was first of all, I was just asking, I was asking her higher self, and Sylvia, your higher self is saying, first of all, your adrenal glands, which they're the glands that basically tell everything in our body to like, hey, it's fight or flight mode. And with yours, they feel like they're really filled, like they're on like this high alert state. And it's causing like across your body like this the state of high alert, but also the energy feels trapped. Like the energy feels like it's trying to release from you, and your body's trying to step back down, but is struggling. So I can just release this energy, and I'm going to release it out through your hands and through your feet. So if you're able to take shoes and socks off, if you're able to be barefoot, even better outside, it's fantastic. But it doesn't need to be this now moment. It can be just when you get the chance today. So I'm just going to release this energy out through your hands, first of all. So just bring a column of golden light from the highest dimension of source all the way down through your nervous system and just bringing out that excess energy and releasing out the hands into the ground, and then all the way down to the root of your spine, all the way down through your feet and into the ground. It's really charged, and I felt it in your heart as well. I felt like this tightness, this tension. And you're saying I have to let go of my coach. I'm very sad about it. I'm not ready for it. I miss her. Sorry to hear that. Okay. And I just see like this out of your hands. It's like this lightning, like this energy releasing out of you. And there's a mix of emotions in there. There's some frustration and um, a lot of energy that's built up around the heart as well. See if I can release that from around your heart. Yep, some of it's going up out of your head and up into source, and then some's coming back down into the ground, into Gaia. And for your coach, it does feel like, although it's a really hard experience, it's like letting go of a close friend, right? Is that um, there may be the right time for you to explore your inner growth, and sometimes you need that space from even people like me. So it's good for you to follow that journey when guided, and see what lessons are coming forwards for you. Anything you'd like to add, Viviane?
I felt the tightness in the chest area from the stress,
Mm-hmm.
uh, the feeling of confusion. That's and yeah, the felt like the nervousness of yeah, and I heard under a lot of stress that, uh, but with the I don't have anything else to add other than that for you
Yeah.
to help her. But it was just like yeah, the struggle of the I guess um knowing I guess when you have to facing the person she said it's the anticipation of having to do what she needs to do to adding to the stress.
Mm-hmm.
Mm. So
Yeah, best of luck with that, Sylvia. And there's definitely a message of like looking after yourself, your self care and self love. And sometimes that means slowing down
mhm.
and 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 just, practicing self love. So saying to yourself in the mirror, I love you, Sylvia. And nurturing yourself, doing the things that bring you joy and space and calm. um, it's a time for receiving. It's a time now that you're releasing that energy, a time for receiving those lessons in your life. And there's always lessons in everything we do. And a lot of them that our souls choose are really tough. So holding space for your journey, and I wish you well with it.
One quick thing I just thought about she may want to say the Ho'oponopono prayer to to her coach.
Mm-hmm.
If that will help her feel better. But anyway, wish you the best, Sylvia. And how about we have now? Oops, I'm missing some of the requests here. Going up, I have okay, Sylvia. Elf is I'm sorry, not Elf. Elif is saying she lost a friend 4 years ago, and she's feeling very depressed. She's asking for us to look into her crown chakra. Okay, I'm going to copy that.
And is this to be able to talk to her friend now that she's passed over?
I believe it's to well, she's I'm not sure if it's to release the feeling of depression or if it's to communicate with her friend.
Okay, and that's Elf.
Yes.
Thank you. So just asking
Mhm.
Sylvia and her guides and everyone else to step back, and we'll ask Ella to step forwards and her guides and her higher self. It's really interesting in your crown chakra. I see um, this sword. It's like a really large sword in your crown chakra, and immediately the sword feels like your truth. And I'm asking higher self, is this uncomfortable? Like, is this it? I mean, it looks uncomfortable, but is it? Your higher self saying, this is a okay. I'm just getting a further story here. So this sword, this energetic sword, is a soul gift that you've had for many lifetimes, and you've been pushing it into the crown chakra, and the attempt has been to like continue to drive it down through your chakras. And what it this the gift of this sword is that it opens up um this channel, this open channel of truth throughout your chakras, creates a very wide bandwidth between each of your chakras. So, for example, whoever you choose to communicate with, whether it's your guides, your higher self, any other beings, or any loved ones that have since died, or even telepathically with people that are still alive, this sword allows you to open up. It's something you've done before in a past life. It increases the bandwidth, but it's stuck at the moment. It's stuck in the crown chakra. So I'm just asking, how successful is this at this time? Is it serving Elif's highest good? No, okay, so it's not. It's you're not ready for this expansion. And at the moment it's kind of put your crown chakra into this kind of numbed state, almost like a standby state. It doesn't feel traumatic. It feels frustrating. It feels like annoying that you should know how to do this. But for what it's worth, it is unusual to see this. And I'm not sure whether you'll ever be successful in this approach. I'm not sure that your human form can take this expansion in this way. It feels like there's other ways of expanding. I'm just asking your guide as well. Should we remove the sword and just give it back to you so you can hold it by your side? Saying yes, that would be really helpful. So let's just do this. And I'm just asking you to release this soul gift that you have. You're not going to let go of it, but you're releasing it from the top of your crown chakra, just gently taking it out and holding it by your side. Okay. And then I'm just bringing down a column of golden light into the crown chakra and bringing in this healing energy to help hold and bring together and close any wounds. Imaro to somoro to miyaha. Okay, good. And then down to just checking your other chakras and the alignment. It's made your crown chakra go very, sounds funny to say about a chakra. I always see them as circular, but it's almost become like a disc shape in response as it's going into a healing pattern now. Over the next 24 hours, it will go through this healing. And it is still connected well into the third eye, into the throat. And I'm just picking up now on that aching, that feeling in your heart. Just making sure you've got a strong connection. And I'm just going to clear out this energy from your heart. Oram mirata oram. And just removing this low vibration energy that no longer serves your highest good. Please return to source or never return here again. And then down through the other chakras and into the ground. Okay. And you're holding on to this sword and you're holding on to it. And that's good. It feels like you can hold it also against your heart. It feels like there's work to do to find your truth about the reality that we live in, the circumstances around this loved one that you lost, um, and also like the some of the truths about your gifts, because it feels like your crown chakra in particular is very gifted. Your upper chakras are, and there's a really beautiful journey ahead of you should you choose to continue to practice each day. How about you, Viviane? How did it go?
Yes, I saw the light sword in the middle here, and I heard hazy and clear, and I needed to let go. Um, and as you progressed, I heard and I saw the golden light going through the top of the head all the way down. I heard energy flowing now.
Mm-hmm. That's wonderful. I hope that helps. Let us know in the chat.
Mhm. Okay, let's see what we have here next. Is how about CJ? CJ is asking, saying CJ had knee problems. She's asking why he's always had knee problems.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
So just asking everyone else to step back, including Ella and CJ, to
Mhm.
step forwards, your higher self and your guides, please. And how can we assist with CJ's needs at this time? So in summary, it's a past I call it like past life integration. So many souls choose to come to Earth to help us all at this time. So thank you, CJ, for coming. And CJ's here, yes. And the challenge that you've had with your knees appears to be, I keep seeing you as this. I describe them as a mer folk. So when we describe visually what a mermaid looks like, we often think as of a tail that is like one limb, like a dolphin. But for you, I don't see that. I see like two separate legs that would have joined together, like being held together. Um, Almost like you would shape shift. To you and I, so as humans, it would look a lot like you were shape shifting from being something that could walk freely, and then also being able to connect your two legs together and become one. Um, and I was really interested. I saw you, like, I don't know if you've had X-rays before or scans of your knees, but I was seeing what I saw was like unusual anatomy around your knees, and some of this being described as like different conditions, and that might be true. Like in human terms, it could be seen. The cause isn't understood, but the condition that your knees are in could be seen as these unusual and more rare conditions. Um, and so I'm just asking, how do you? Well, first of all, when was this past life? Three lifetimes ago. Well, it's not many. And it was a Lemurian lifetime. You're used to working with like on Earth, but not at this low vibration frequency as well. And that pressure is like Earth feels heavier to you now, to your body. Okay, how do we assist with the healing of the knees? So your guide saying, so John, the first is like this, getting a tutorial about how to do this. The first thing to know, and this applies to many of us, the first thing to know about past life integration of your, like what your soul's been used to integrating with this human body is to become aware of what you have been in the past. And so describe it as almost like unfinished business, where the development of your human body in this life has struggled uh, to fully adjust to having two legs that no longer join together. And it seems to be that now I don't understand as a human the anatomy of something like a dolphin. I keep being shown a dolphin. They're really quite different, right? But I don't believe they have two legs joined together. It seems like one. And so it seems like the separation is important, becoming aware of your two separate legs and especially around the knees, because it feels almost like a dolphin's tail, which is more similar to what you've had in the past. That's what your two legs joined to become. They didn't really have knees. It was more like almost like having two spines coming down from the root of your spine. And so it's the experience that you're going through just now is almost like having, instead of having knee joints, having two um uh vertebrae like acting as knee joints. So they're somewhere between, like evolving between the two. So I'm just going to bring down a column of golden lights, the highest dimension of source above, just working down through CJ all the way down through the root of your spine. And then I'm going to scan out down the thighs into the knees, just picking up on the uncomfortableness and the pain there. I'm just going to bring in some healing energy to remind your body, your higher self, and your soul of this human form that feels more comfortable for you, and the separation of your legs and the use of the knee joints, because they are complicated and quite magical. Stand the front and back. Urmana imoro no somo. Imorana imaro sonomo. And just bringing that energy, that healing energy down to the feet and down to the ground. And being called to, I'm just asking, how can CJ best like help with this healing? And it does feel like placing your feet flat and apart, like comfortably apart, is helpful. Grounding is helpful because when you're stood barefoot on the stone or stones or grass, it helps you connect with Mother Earth, and Mother Earth is this vibration is more used to supporting humans with um with with separate knees from being compared to being joined together in the age of Lemuria. And I'm seeing you doing, I can't do this the way I'm sat, but imagine that your knees are just below my hands here. It's almost like you're just kind of gently rubbing them slightly out from and you're going from the inside out over the top. And it's like this reminder as you do it. And you're just saying to yourself, I feel um, my knees are separate and they feel loved and they feel whole, because part of you still wants to bring them back together, and it's like that's not really what you need anymore in this life. How did it go with you, Viviane?
I had a vision of, I saw the human legs being hit uh, like with something that looked like a baseball bat.
Ouch.
And that caused, and then I heard the word impact, and I saw like a crack on each knee, as if I was looking at a ceramic, pot that, just had like a line fracture kind of a and image. Then I visualized green, emerald green light on both knees as you're sending the golden light through the body. And the green light stayed there for a while, and then it went down the knees and to the earth. And then I saw an image of the leg standing on grass to get the healing from earth, and also after sent that energy down
Mhm.
on the earth. So this is what I saw. I just thought it was interesting that it was different than I saw. But anyways. Mhm.
Yeah, very different. Yeah, I don't really have much of an answer to the difference other than
Mhm.
um, that. And I'm just asking, like, are these two experiences that you and I have had related? Are they in sequence?
Mhm.
So this is interesting that the soul would say this. It seems rare that our souls like step and communicate, but I'm not sure our higher self was fully aware of this. That
Mm.
yeah, what Viviane is describing is something that happened in a lifetime in between. So 3 lifetimes ago, you were a Lemurian, and what the soul was trying to do was help with that transition. And it was actually the trauma to the kneecaps to help. And it's horrible, right? But to
Yeah.
help with the adjustment into the human body. So yeah, there is a sequence. I can't you know justify what your soul is deciding and going through those traumas, but it feels like it's all in a journey.
Mhm.
And to know that many of us are unaware that we're struggling with what are these effectively like past life forms that we've taken. We're struggling to adjust being human, and that once we become aware of it, it's just really really helpful. A bit like when sometimes when people have like phantom limb syndrome, where they're missing maybe one leg and
Yes.
they put a mirror down. It's like you can see it now. Like once, as soon as you can see it and your body's aware of that difference, you start to be able to adjust to your new form.
Mm. So that was interesting. That saw completely different things. So thank you, CJ. Next is, what is his name here? Wolf dude.
Oh,
One.
that's
It's
Nathan, I
Nathan. I
think.
remember
Yeah.
him last week. Always nice to see Nathan in the chat. So he's asking for help with manifesting legal justice. However, we're guided to do so. And he's here.
Hey, Nathan.
Hi,
So just
Nathan.
asking everyone else step back, including CJ and your guides and higher self, and asking Nathan to step forwards, your guides and higher self. There's a lot of conversation going on between you, your higher self, and one of your guides. Who is this guide? Seems important. You've been calling forward this guide regarding justice. This guide, they don't want to go into too much detail about who they are in part publicly, but they are a member of um, the Galactic Federation of Light, and they're very interested in both their role as a Federation member and then also as one of your guides, Nathan. And they're showing me across this whole planet, there's a lot of interest in justice. And justice, as we see it as humans, is relatively limited, especially our laws. Our Western laws are very limited at the moment. And there's one key aspect, this message they'd like to share is this is an energy first universe. This is all energy first. Like all the things we're doing right now, this is how it's possible to do these things over Zoom, is because none of the computers that we use and all these things are important other than the fact that they allow us to say hello and connect. And thereafter, everything is energy. And so when we think of justice, so we think of crime, we think of breaking laws, one of the challenges is that at the moment, none of our laws really help protect the energetic side. They don't help us. You can't report to the police. There's no law to say that, if someone launched a psychic attack against you, that you somehow that you could say who it was or who you thought it was and that they would go to jail. Like it just doesn't happen. Um, and then So that's one dimension. And so where you're seeking justice, it's important to also understand the full breadth of the crime, like across all dimensions. And then the next aspect is, and I just find this really fascinating as a subject, and I haven't like formed strong opinions on it yet. Your guide is saying there are layers of justice that are appropriate for different behaviors of beings. And they're saying for the majority of the time that the karmic aspects of this universe takes care of justice all by itself. And karma does not require law. It doesn't require right and wrong. What it what it does is the way karma works is it creates this debt in someone. So when they, for instance, if someone breaches one of the universal laws like free will, and this is regardless of whether it's legal in our Western world or not, um, then there will be a debt accrued, a karmic debt accrued by that individual. And it's not super apparent to anyone else outside of that individual what debt happens, because the debt can be forced to be repaid in the moment, in that lifetime. It can cause a whole range of negative experiences for that person. And what they effectively have to do is they have to, like, it's like someone drops when you accrue debt and significant debt. So you've caused significant harm to others. What I'm seeing is that they fall in vibration. So their debt repayment, if you like, is they have to continue to rise up in vibration again. And by fall in vibration, I mean like they literally start to go into to the lower levels, and sorry, into the upper levels of hell, and start to experience those personal torments. For those that cause multiple and repetitive violations against others, then this starts to not just affect that lifetime, but into and across multiple lifetimes. Um, and I'm just asking finally, is there, will bodies like the Galactic Federation take action against others? And they said only when, and this is the gray area, which is what we're seeing on planet Earth right now, and this may be at the very root of what you're having challenges with, Nathan, is that the problem with free will with us humans is that many of us are quite lazy and we're implicitly accepting. So we're giving our power away, and we're allowing people to mistreat us by simple things such as the terms and conditions that we click on when we sign up for services, or the moment that we watch the news, for example, and it's very negative and low vibration. And when our consciousness receives it, we help co-create and propagate that very scenario, that very image that's served to us. And in many respects, we're allowing ourselves to be like to sleepwalk into consenting. And these are some of the, underneath all the pain and chaos and war and battles and trauma that we see across our planet, some of these principles they're not very visible, but they're right underneath. And the very best place to start with when you're looking for justice is with energy, and to look at the energy intent first. Um, yeah, I don't have time to explain the whole universe. In fact, I don't really know a lot more than what I've shared, but I feel like it's a start, Nathan. How about you, Viviane?
I saw Nathan, I had a vision of Nathan sitting behind a large wooden desk, and that gave the feeling of being like in a position of power, as in, I heard power, control, and that it has this knowing and awareness that gives him power. So it's about stepping into his power and being reminded that he has the control of this the situation. That's what I got in an
I,
emotional
I
sense.
love that. Yeah. Because I saw that, I saw his guide doing that. Like, yeah, like sat at this desk. And I think the thing I didn't complete saying was there does seem to be times that there'll be an intervention,
Okay.
and it's risky, right? Like if another galactic race interferes with humans, there's a risk that they violate our free will, and then they have to accrue debt.
Mhm. Yeah.
Um, and all of this, makes it, it makes sense, but how you act on it's very difficult. And I think that's one of the challenges they have is where I felt like from some of Nathan's journey in his life so far, and this is from previous readings, where his
Mhm.
vibration has been lower, that's for purpose, is because it allows him to like see and to judge. And I love that. It's like being aware of the energetic side of justice, and the lower vibrations is required to be able to do that role. And yeah, sometimes these beings, when they take intervention action, will push away other galactic beings, through battles to push them out of certain areas of space. Not like a
Mhm.
prison, but more like, no, but like when I return something to source and never return here again, it's like, no, you're not allowed to do this here anymore.
Yeah. It's well-being. It'd be interesting.
The rest of the universe can be your prison.
Mhm. Yeah, so thank you, Nathan. And I have a calling Henny. She's asking for healing for her family. It's like uh, having some family issues. I'm waiting for a reply. I believe she's here.
Okay. Um, and I can't heal he needs family without them all consenting. But I feel like there's something we can do. Oh, you're saying there's a huge rift.
Yes.
Um, but we can see what we can do from Heeny's perspective,
Okay.
and offer any advice on behalf of her family. So just asking it, everyone step back to give us
Mhm.
space, and then asking Heaney to step forwards, guides and higher self. So immediately, Heaney, like your higher self is just saying this, like it's really clear. There's this path that your family's going on, and there's this riff. And in fact, it reminds me a lot of my own family, who surprisingly don't. None of my family, my immediate family, talk to each other. Um, my two brothers, maybe a little, but my between my mother and father and two other siblings, none of them really talk anymore. And it's sad, but there's this path that your family are taking, which is like it's like they have to experience this rip before they can then go on and determine whether they want to begin to heal. And I see you like you're right in the middle, Heaney, and then I see like there's a rift both sides, and there's this path ahead of you, and you see it, like you see, like my life, where you see this path of where, well, how long would this go on for? Like, how would it just go on forever, and they'd never reconcile? Um, and I'm saying, so your higher self is saying this is a really beautiful thing to do, which is for this path that you see. So if you visualize, perhaps you do this practice each day, you just visualize this path ahead of you that currently separates or is separating your family. And I see you like walking along this path, and you're saying some mantra, and you're dropping these little petals, of like little rose petals on the ground. And what these are is like you're just sowing in this love energy that exists in the void between them, and you're walking it each morning, and you're just saying whenever the time is right, and that time um, may never come, is that there'll always be love here to walk across this rift. Like this is an actual energetic rift that exists. And so what you're doing is you're just walking each morning, and the key to this is you have to do it unconditionally. You can't expect them to reconcile themselves. But what you're doing is you're filling in that wound, saying this wound could heal if you only decide to take the right step forwards at the right time for you. And yeah, my love goes out to you and your family. And I hope that just placing some petals of love between them will start to create, that reconnection with the love that they do have between each other. So I hope this helps. How did it go for you, Viviane?
I had a vision of Henny being in the middle of all this, her family and juggling. So she's like juggling, and it's just about trying to help and please everyone around her, trying to be the mediator of everybody. But then
Mm,
um, I heard step back and nourish. She needs to
yeah,
nourish her energy, step back a little, and because it's like trying to help everybody and please everybody around her, but yeah, step back and nourish herself and help herself because there's can only help people that want to help themselves first, and kind of like a situation. This is the feeling that I got.
yeah.
Um, so,
Yeah, they definitely your family definitely has to go on their separate paths before they will come back. And
mm,
you trying to hold them back not only depletes you, but it slows that process down. And it's harsh, right? It's really harsh to see your loved ones, separate. But it's also really powerful. There's all kinds of reasons why each of your souls have chosen this experience,
mm,
and to allow it. Um, I love that Heaney was saying the same thing. Yeah, definitely juggling. Yes, I am juggling.
yes, she
Um,
didn't call the emojis. I never saw the juggling emojis. Sending love, Henny. Thank you for being here.
yeah.
Okay, now I have Gypsy JJ. Gypsy JJ is asking for clearing and to receive energy blessings. She's feeling bombarded in a not so goodness way, please and thank you. Um,
Okay.
I don't have her name that, but that's I know she's here. She just texted me a few she just typed in the chat a few minutes.
Okay.
So yeah, Gypsy JJ.
Thank you.
Mhm.
So just asking everyone to step back and asking Gypsy JJ to step forwards, your guides, your higher self. Yeah, there's like this very tall, like very, very tall, dark entity, and it seems to be stood in the path of you, Gypsy JJ. It's like it's trying to block out the sun, trying to block out light around you. It has to be really tall to it's not that far away from you. How far is this? 4 meters? And why is this attack happening? Because there's secrets that you hold, there's codes that you hold, and this being doesn't want you going through your activations and receiving these. This is just a really horrible, intense um, being. So this is quite risky doing this during the live stream. So I'm not going to talk so much as I do this. Um, but first, I'm just going to step in between and just prepare yourself for some dragon like language. Arani Morosamura. Inaramatakarana. So I'm just pushing it back. You do not have any permission to be in Gypsy JJ's space. You must leave the space immediately. Archangel Michael, please return this being to source or never return here again. And as I returned it, initially it looked much more like this really tall demonic entity. And then as I returned it, as I gave it to Archangel Michael, it stood much more like a really giant, like a Neolithic standing stone, very dark, casting this shadow over you. Just a really horrible, imposing, threatening um feeling that you're going through, Gypsy JJ. Let me just scan down you now, outside of you. It's almost now that the light is shining. This is so much of it's more about not the visual light that we see, but the energetic galactic energies that flow through the sun. There's this interaction between you and the sun that's starting to spark and ignite. And it feels like your skin, like the outer layer of your light body and your auric field, are just starting to almost feel like these interactions now are with the sun again, and these galactic energies are quite they're not painful, but they're kind of like little sparkles, little crackles. So we just bring in some healing energy around the outside of you in particular. Good. And your higher self, Gypsy JJ, is like, and I can be free again. It's like just spreading your wings out. So I hope this helps you. And yeah, please do to keep in touch. Did you
Uh,
pick up on anything?
yes, for Gypsy JJ, I saw I was drawn to her solar plexus, and then I saw this dark darkness behind her, like this shadow, and as this entity was just like taking, but it's just about taking her power away.
Mhm.
Mm. So that was, went with what you were describing.
It was quite shocking. um, it
I
takes
got
quite.
saw a shadow. I didn't see details as details I saw, but it was like really like this pitch black behind her, and then yeah.
Yeah.
So
Um, and it felt like there's. Am I right in saying Gypsy JJ is a musician? That there was something about the codes. Some these codes are really in your heart that you're activating, but there's an interaction that you have with the sun that is happening now. Um, and so it's this ability to like co-create with the sun that they're trying to this being was trying to stop. And there's a lot. I mean, it's good news, right? When you get like disturbing low vibration entity interaction with you like this, it means that something amazing is about to happen because they're trying to stop it.
yeah.
Um, and that it does feel like a really beautiful both series of upgrades, but it's more that you're helping. You have this resonance frequency, and that includes through your music that you resonate out around this world. And so they just got lucky and happened to find you as being one of the instigators for some of these really beautiful upgrades and light code activations. So keep spreading your magical music around the world.
Mhm. Thank you, Gypsy JJ. So I'm
Thank you.
calling Rossi now. She was here last time and I didn't get to her question. So she's asking for a message from her guides and about her spiritual path and what can she call her main guide. Hi, Rossi. Thanks so much for being here. And she's a member of the channel too.
Thank you. Thank you, Rosie. Just asking everyone else to step back. Rossi, your higher self, and one of your guides to step forwards, in particular, so that we can help connect with one of your guides to introduce them to you and to allow any messages to come through at this time. Your whole like team, your active spirit guide team just now of about 8 guides are just bringing awareness, my awareness to them. And there's something really fascinating about they are from uh, different um, galactic races. There's something really interesting about them. They all seem to be about the same height, which seems important to them. I'm just asking, can I can I get to see? Because they're just stepping back a little bit. Can you show yourselves to me, or you can just have one of you step forwards, please? Oh wow, okay. So this is all for a reason and a purpose, as always. You're so the guide that steps forward, first of all, she's wearing a cloak, and the she's got this like there's this hood up over her head, and then she's got like a golden um necklace on. It's quite thin, but looks very strong and looks very expensive to me. And then a cloak's kind of hiding the rest of her body. I'm not sure what height you are, Rossi, but your guide is exactly the same height as you, and then all the other guides are as well. And although they're from different galactic races, many of them came into, and was this the last lifetime? Yeah, the last lifetime. Many of them came through at this time, and I describe you like a team, um, physically on Earth together in your last life, and you're like a witch's covenant. I describe like a team, and you you weren't you weren't all fully human in that lifetime, but you were humanoid and passed from the majority of the time as humans. Palladian, Andromedan, Reptilian, and then one from Atlantis and one from Lemuria. For you, um, for this guide that stepped forwards, can I get a name, please? Let me write this out. Mocha Ticha. I'm not great at spelling. Ross is saying I'm short. Me too. That's your guide's name. Mocha Ticha. What does this mean? She's a facilitator, bringer together. I can't even say this in English. She brings souls together from multiple races, and she brings them into she calls like a synergy. It's this team of eight that work together. And are you human? Are you working with Rossi as your humanoid form? She's saying she's Andromedan, but it is not always helpful to know about beings' lineage when they have many different galactic origins, but to know that these are some of the most recent. And do you have any messages for Rossi at this time? Okay, yeah. First talk to um Mocha teacher as often as you can. So for instance, you could practice my free meditations on my website called the Spirit Guide Meditation, and same one I do every day. Talk to my spirit guides. That's how I do my Hi, it's Jon videos. They're the messages that I ask for, and so in that practice each day, you can ask for her by name to come forwards, and then she's saying it's early in in this phase of your mission. A part of your mission is just like what you've done previously in previous lifetimes, and this is one of her superpowers is to be able to bring together souls from different galactic lineages. So regardless of, and this includes current life, whether they're from different planets right now in this lifetime or have just recently reincarnated, and it's the first time on Earth, you're able to bring people together. And one of the practices that you do is you focus on the heart. You focus on the unification of hearts. And it's a practice I've seen done many times, especially on Galactic Federation ships. And they have this beautiful thing, the ceremony at the start of meetings where they unite everyone's hearts together. And it's that heart frequency. My ears are like totally ringing now. It's like a singing noise. So this is something for you to be aware of and to consider practicing with others is connecting your hearts with them. But first, start with talking with your guide each day and seek further guidance. I feel like building that connection will be really powerful. Wow, that was an adventure. How did it go for you, Viviane?
I saw an Arcturian guide,
Hmm.
and it was just one, and it was like saying, as it's saying next to her and just saying, "Oh, you're doing a great job."
Yay.
That was really all I got for you, Rossi. I just thought it was interesting. There was just one, as you're getting so many different guides there, and I didn't get a name. I just got the visual of it. And I
Yeah.
asked again for a message, and it said the same thing again. Ross, you're doing a great job, learning a lot. That was the additional. Yeah.
Hmm. That's beautiful. It was quite funny. Because I was thinking, I was just sharing what came through, and I was like, I don't think I got to 8 guides. And then it's like, but if Rossi was part of the team of 8, then that would be 9 of you. And there's definitely like there is one extra. There's like one extra guide that wasn't part of their last team of 8.
Okay.
Um, so it's like, wow, so that's 8. Yeah, 8 plus 1. I guess you're a team of 9 now.
Nice, Rossi. She was here last week. So, oh, okay. Yeah, she's saying, yeah, I have an Arcturian also. Okay, great.
Beautiful.
And now let's see, Kiss 606, are you here, please? Um, she's asking for a, oh yes, she's here. Thank you for responding. Chakra clearing and alignment. She keeps hearing alignment,
Mm,
harmonics.
cool. And Gypsy JJ was just saying, I stand amazed how grateful I am. I feel gently placed back into the creator's light. I'm thankful to use who I call Buddha Jon Binnie and gentle Viviane. Wow, wow, wow. Hallelujah. Thank you, God. Oh, that's so beautiful.
They do. She's adorable. Thank you. Mhm.
So thank you. And yeah, we hope that helps you, Rossi. And so glad you asked. Just asking everyone to step back and for KISS 606 to step forwards, please, your guides
Mhm.
and your higher self. I'm immediately drawn to there's a I was going to call it like an out of alignment, but it feels like a breakage. And it's I don't know if you're seeing it, Viviane,
Mm.
in the line of almost like I describe it as the connections between the chakras. I was interested if you saw it too.
Yes. No, I see. I was initially drawn to her throat chakra. I don't know if
Mhm.
you got that, but the 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 breakage is below that. I don't know if it's the same for you.
Yeah,
Below the truth, the like kind of like in the middle.
yeah, I see it. Just it's really funny because it's quite hard to zoom in on, and it seems that the solar plexus in particular is like it's like it's floating
Mm,
because every time I look at it, it's like kind of moving around, and like I didn't really know chakras can do that, and then the sacral and the heart chakras are like what do we do here? You know, where is this? Where's our friend? What's happening?
mm.
That there's no connection.
Yeah, so
Um,
vertical line and then as if it was like stretching, then just split like you see the split in the middle.
mhm.
Uh,
Do you want to take a look at the throat chakra, and I'll reconnect the solar plexus.
okay, sure.
Thank you. Just reconnecting the heart and the sacral chakra to the solar plexus. And then there's a negative entity to remove from the solar plexus. Please return to source or never return here again. Thank you. And just while Viviane continues, what I saw for you, case 606, and you were, I think you were asking about, yeah, could it be from abdominal surgeries? What, so what happened with your solar plexus? I was shown that there was this, yeah, it felt like I saw it as an attack. I saw it as like this energetic, like pushing in to the solar plexus. And your body was like able to initially adjust to this. And it's like almost like your solar plexus like went in and then it started to, after this attack or surgery or surgeries, it began to heal back into place. But what, like it seemed pushed back hard against the spine, but it needs much more freedom than that. And then it felt like what had actually happened is during, and if this was during recovery of your surgery, there was a negative entity that attacked your solar plexus. And I've not seen this before as a defense mechanism, but what happened is your heart and um your sacral chakras disconnected from the solar plexus because they didn't want to suffer from this negative attachment, and it isolated the attachment. And this movement that I saw initially was actually the attachment that was like kind of pushing your solar plexus around. So that's now cleared, and it seemed easy to reconnect to your other chakras. Just checking down through alignment. How did you get on with the throat chakra and anything else, Viviane?
Oh yes, at first I heard I was just drawn right away to her throat area, and then I heard, "Don't hold back, speak your truth, you're free." But there is like this knot,
Mm.
and then, when you feel like tense and you like almost crying, like you have something you want to say but you can't, and you feel that and it's knot in this area. Um, And then I asked help to release and sent green light to this area to release. Um, and I hope she feels better. Curious just to know if if she felt anything. Mm.
Yeah, I felt just I did a very quick scan afterwards. I felt like that lump in the throat that you described. I've
Mhm.
feels like it's been a long time since I felt that physically. Um,
Yeah, me
and I
too.
was and I was just asking, um, is that now gone? And it felt like yes, but there was like this like remembrance of that. And
Mm.
so it does feel like your throat chakra will continue to go through the healing that Viviane's been giving you, and just allow that, especially the next 3 days, just to settle down.
Yes,
Um,
and for everybody, we drink lots of water.
yeah,
We always
that's
say that,
right,
right?
definitely. And Kiss 606 says, I don't have the words to express my gratitude. Thank you so very, very much. Yay, thank you.
Let me see. Next here. Just about. Okay. I'm looking for Deborah Ferreira. uh, but I'm trying to find her request. I know she's here.
Have a quick look too. Um, oh, it says previous request. Let me go back.
Yeah. Mhm. Would you
Yeah,
please type, I'm looking up on the screen here, but I'm trying, it may have been up too hard for me to find.
yeah. If it goes back too far, I think they
Yeah.
disappear.
So Deborah Ferreira, please type your request again. And hi, Nova. Hi, Holly. And I'm just kind of keeping track on time here because I know you need to leave early today too.
Thank you.
So let me forget.
And I'm feeling good. You just never know what's going to happen in the next 19 minutes.
And hopefully you can get one, at least one more.
Can I please have a healing for my knees and right arm? May I also have any negative energy removed.
Thank you, Deborah.
Knees and right arm. Would you like to divide and conquer, Viviane?
Okay, let me just look at, sure. Let me see. I want to read her request again.
Yeah, she says, can I please have healing for my knees and right
Okay,
arm and also
okay.
a clearing?
So you're gonna work on the energy, or what you want me to do? You want me to focus on?
Yeah, do you want to take a look at the knees and right arm and just let me know how it goes, and I'll let you know if I like overlap. I'll try and keep a bit quiet as I do it because I'll try not to distract you.
No, that's right. You do your thing. Your thing.
Okay.
Thank you.
So just asking Deborah to step forwards and everyone else step back. Deborah, your higher self and your guide, step forwards to Viviane and I, please. And set the intention to provide a healing and clearing. I'm just being shown quite a long story about how this happened for the right arm and knees. It's like an energetic attack that Deborah was shielding herself from. Okay, let me scan through. And it feels like your whole nervous system is like blocked up with energy. And so I'm just going to help open the what I learned in reflexology to be the reflexes, these endpoints, the terminations of your um all of your nervous system that comes out in your feet, but also your hands. But in the feet, I'm going to release this energy out into earth, to Mother Gaia. Okay, and now I can push this down from above. Mhm. Just checking through your chakras. And just helping reconnect your chakras now. Angel Michael, please return to source whenever time you're again. Just picking up that energy that was pushed into the ground. Okay. How did you get on, Viviane?
I was when I looked at the right arm, I was drawn to the elbow area, and then I saw what looked like a long needle going across the elbow, and progressing with the healing, I saw that needle disintegrating. And when you were working on the knees, and I was looking at the knees, I saw that like a stagnant energy from the knees being flushed down.
Mm-hmm. Fabulous. It
That's
it the attack seemed really curious, and it seemed um I don't know if you can do this physically, but like it's like you're asleep and you're lying down and your knee was really close to your right arm, to your elbow, and that it's like when you felt this attack seemed to come up from below you, like from the ground, and this is like this. It's almost like you're being shot with a weapon, right? But it was an energetic attack, and you're just like you pushed your elbow down to try and stop this from hurting you, and it seemed to affect like all three, both knees and the elbow at the same time. Um, and I feel like largely speaking, you were able to defend yourself, but it resulted in like this built up energy, and it was aching, like this aching sensation that needed draining out.
mm-hmm.
And I didn't really, other than the energy I drained out, I didn't find any negative attachments, which is good.
Wonderful. Now I'm calling Denise McMullen. She's asking for whatever is for her highest good and clearing on back solar plexus. I'm waiting for Denise. You're welcome, Deborah.
Yeah, thank you, Deborah. Okay, so just asking Deborah and everyone else step back, and asking Denise step forwards. Your higher self and your guides.
Okay, she's here. Thank you, Denise.
Thank you, Denise. Viviane, would you like to take a look at the back? And I'll look at the solar
Sure.
plexus. There's likely connection, but I feel like there's more
Mm-hmm.
um, for me to do on the solar plexus first. So I'll take a look at that. Just let me know what you find as you go.
Okay.
So it's so unusual for me to see a solar plexus that's larger than it should be. It's so most of the time in us, I see a smaller solar plexus. Your solar plexus is enlarged, and it's spinning the wrong way. Like it's reversing itself, and it's feeling like it's this feeling of like being pushed back. And this message is that you're trying to rewind the clock back from something that's happening in your life. Like there's this path that you're going down that you don't feel aligned with your soul, and you're trying to like pedal back. And how does that affect the back, Viviane?
I was drawn to the lower back area and then her solar plexus.
Mm-hmm.
I need to take another look at it. And I see as the solar plexus kind of need to uh, spin counterclockwise and then clockwise. That's
Mm-hmm.
the feeling that I got to like purge the energy and then kind of like recalibrate, kind of like.
Yeah. The it was almost like I saw you, Denise, like running you're or being pushed towards this negative energy or entity that is like right in front of you, and you're like trying to like you're standing on the edge of a cliff and you're trying to like pull yourself back from it. Um, I'm just I don't see that entity or energy ahead of you now.
Mhm.
Has it gone? Yeah, it's gone, but it was that's basically like its job. Its job was to cause that trauma. And then, as Viviane said, it feels like to so it was to go anti-clockwise first and then clockwise, and it feels like
Mhm.
aligning with its current direction and then to redirect it and start spinning. It reminds me of the fans in my camper van do that when I hit the reverse button.
Yeah.
It's like slowing down to stop and then coming back around the other way. Okay, just help with this. Gently to stop. And then just encouraging yourself like to gradually begin to turn clockwise. Okay, good. It's quite fast to begin with, and I just wanted to try and find the natural size and shape and speed and frequency. Just calming that down. Orma I niro soromoto. And connecting with the other chakras. And then out to your back, it feels like it was pushing hard against your back. So just bringing this now, your solar plexus back into center and just checking up and down the back of you. Yeah, that feels. I see what you mean about the lower back. Just bringing
Yes.
further alignment here up to the top of your head and down to the root of your spine. Good. Okay. Feels a bit like maybe you just had a rough massage. And so I'm just learning Swedish massage. It's like it's quite a lot to go through, but know that your body's now um begun that healing, and that could just take a few days, like about 3, maybe 4 days at most. So I hope that helps you, Denise.
And we're getting short on time because I know you need to leave earlier today. So,
Any time for one more?
yes, how about MG? Are you here? Um, maybe. MG, please let us know if you're here. So then you'll be the last request. As she's,
MGS.
yes, great. And I'm trying, okay. She's asking, Shiri is asking for message from guides and higher self, and she would like to know how to be of service at this time. I'm going to, okay, paste the question here.
Thank you.
Mhm.
What a wonderful request.
Yes.
Thank you for asking this.
Mhm.
If only the whole world asked the same question. Um, Fabulous. Okay, so just asking everyone else to step back and asking MG to step forwards, your guides, your higher self, to both Viviane and I. And perhaps one of your guides like step forwards and feel free to give Viviane and I the same message to of how MG can provide can be of service. They can also be different messages or complementary messages. The message I get is immediately drawn to your heart, MG. And in your heart, just this really simple answer of if only this whole world could feel more joy in their hearts, then it would transform this world. And I was shown this like really clear visual of like what joy looks like. It's like this beautiful in the green of our hearts and our heart chakras, like this beautiful higher vibrations, like up into blue and purple, indigo, and like a little gift, like a gift that sits within us, and a deepening of the connection of us into our own souls. So a simple message of being able to find in your life um all that gives you joy. And they're saying like lead with your joy. And by leading with your joy, you'll lead others, you'll inspire others. Wherever you choose to help others, know that one of your superpowers is the ability to ignite joy within others, to help them reconnect with their own joy, not just watching you explore your own passions. And if you're not sure where to start, go right back to the beginning of this life and perhaps make a little list of all the things that you've loved to do, especially as a child, but also since then. And perhaps order them in what you think might give you the most joy. And then put some time aside each week to explore it. Even put it in your calendar. I usually have Friday mornings, somewhere between 8:30 and 9:30 for skateboarding. And
Mhm.
yes, I'm 47, and people think it's really funny as I walk my dog, but it's just a lot of fun, and it
It's
brings me a
fun.
lot of joy. A lot of
Age is
joy.
just a number, you know.
Exactly.
I like rollerblading and I do a lot of things that,
Yay.
anyway.
I love
So,
that.
um, okay, so when focusing on the energy, first thing I saw the word volunteer, and then and as a way of being in service, and and then I heard volunteering any area you wish, anything you can explore. And then I heard you have a beautiful heart. Um, and initially that the guides are so happy that of a question being asked of how can I be of service. So kudos to you. That was a great question. So,
It's wonderful. I mean, what a beautiful ending, right? Like to remind us all to reconnect with
mhm,
how we can be of more service to each other and the rest of this world.
mhm. Yes.
Well, I hope that helps, MG. And that was really beautiful, Viviane.
Mhm,
Thank you for a real lovely live stream. And yeah, drink plenty of water, get plenty of rest, and know that especially if you've been directly receiving healings, clearings, or readings from us, that there's a process your body will go through um, to allow that integration to happen. So it's really your body that does all the hard work. We're just bringing attention to it and assisting people. Um, and then Tony Hawk didn't get famous until he was an adult. I'm going to be an adult one day. Um,
mhm,
and and also even like if you indirectly, so loads of messages, especially that last one about how can we help each other more, how can we be of better service to others. These are
mhm,
really powerful messages for all of us to reflect on. And I feel a big part of integration I'm continually learning is that it's about all the things you experience today. How do they feel inside of you? Like, does it feel true to you? Does it feel like real to you? What feels strongest to you? And this is part of your integration process, because you don't need to accept everything you hear from us or experience. But there's, for everyone, there's like these golden nuggets, these codes, these healings, the energy itself, that can help you. And so, yeah, periods of reflection. It's also one reason why I don't do these every day. It gives
mhm.
a space in between. Um, so I hope that helps. Okay, I'll bring the session to an end, and I'll close this down. So thank you so much for every soul that's participated in today's session, in the live chat, in the replay. Thank you for your kind donations to help support both Viviane and I. And I share anything I get. I don't think we had anything last week, but anything that comes through, I'm always happy to share. And I'd like to thank our guides, our higher selves, Archangel Michael, Archangel Raphael, Archangel Metatron, Source, and Gaia, every soul that's participated today, and asking us all now to step out of the session bubble, step back as I close it down and shrink it down, Archangel Michael, please return to source or never return her again. Thank you. And we can remain in our individual golden bubbles and giving us space from each other to continue on our healing journeys and to know that we're not alone. We all came to this planet for a reason. We all came here to help each other. And it starts by helping ourselves, cultivating our self-love, healing ourselves, and then going on to help others with our cups full. Thank you so much. And thank you, Viviane, for another wonderful live
Thank
stream.
you.
I
Thank you.
feel I feel less concerned about any computer glitches now and anything going crazy. A smooth day from now on. But that was
Yes.
really. I'm gonna have to watch the start back. I think it's really funny to see what happens. And you and I are meeting. Oh, I need to chat with you about our next
Yeah,
meeting that
Wednesday.
overlaps. Yeah, it overlaps with our membership call, which I didn't
No,
realize.
no, I think isn't that at 3:30, the membership call, and ours is at 3?
Oh, maybe I'll double check it.
Yeah,
But
because
I
I
know
have
that.
called 3:30. Oh, yeah, now I'm confused. But yeah,
So
if you need to reschedule, no big deal. Yeah,
thanks.
we
Yeah,
take care of it.
I'll
Sure.
check it out. But yeah, the reason I raise it here is because we are meeting to talk about our plans to do in person events in the US, which is
Hmm.
really exciting. And just last night here in Scotland, I was doing an in person event for 12 people, 12 beautiful souls.
Yeah,
Um,
that's so
and it
exciting.
was just incredible to have everyone in the same room and to do this work and to see people's reactions and
Hmm.
the themes that come up. I mean, it was like I feel like you could go. I could do it across the world, and everyone would say the same thing. It's like I want to deepen the connection with my guides. I want to meet my spirit guides. I want to
Hmm.
learn how to meditate better. I want to learn how to do things like do readings and healings for people. I want to have career change that feels aligned with my soul. I mean, you couldn't make it up, right? But it was really lovely seeing it
Yes,
in person and seeing people from I think the youngest in their 20s, and I wouldn't guess the oldest, but into certainly into 70s, and it was just so lovely to see like a real breadth of people. Um,
wonderful. I'm not good at guessing ages, but and so nice. I'm happy for Natasha. Yeah, it was good.
yeah,
Good. Is or yeah, understand.
she was fantastic, and it was amazing to in person.
Mm-hmm. Wonderful. That's exciting.
Fabulous. Well, looking forward to us doing it in person too, Viviane. It's gonna be a lot of
Yes.
fun.
Yes. It'll be amazing.
She'll make it happen. Great.
Yes. Yes. So thank you all, and thank you, John.
Thank you.
This was amazing, and I'll see you all Thursday. Behind the scenes, but I'll see you all on Thursday.
That's right. Thank you
Yeah.
very much. Take
Have a good
care.
one.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye.